I'm Payson McKelvin, and this is the With Pace podcast.
That was when my competitive side turned on, and I was like, I'm fucking winning this. Like, I cannot walk out of this without winning it. Like, I've come this far, and it did spark. And it was like, again, it just felt like this moment of, I trusted my voice to be like, don't worry about it, until it was time to worry about it. And it was a really, really tough battle. I cursed at my sister and yelled at her and was so mean to her in the last 12 miles, and she was so loving and patient.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We're going back to Leadville, Colorado one more time, but not for the bike race. Chat about the bike race a little bit, but we're going back to talk about the Lead Challenge. Many of y'all listening, I'm sure, if not everyone, will have heard of the Leadville 100, but probably fewer will have heard of the Lead Challenge, which combines many of the Leadville race series' most notorious bike races and running races into one more or less 2-month challenge. And it's crazy. And I happen to be friends with the woman that won this year, Maude Farrell. I kind of had ulterior motives inviting Maude up the hill to do this interview just 36 hours after she finished the Lead Challenge, which ends with a 100-mile run on a very similar course to the 100-mile mountain bike race, which she did just the weekend before. I was hoping to get her up here close enough to the end of that 100-mile run that, she'd be kind of raw. Vocabulary might be a little iffy. Just really get that nitty-gritty sort of emotional post-race breakdown download. But she was kind of annoyingly put together. And I guess maybe if you're someone that can run 100 miles, you're sort of borderline superhuman and can recover from that sort of thing way faster than I expected also. But in all seriousness, this ended up being a really great conversation. And as a teammate of Maude's and friend of Maude's, and also with her being a local Durango resident now, I was really just amazed and proud of her performance and couldn't wait to hear about it. And I hope you enjoy hearing about it today too. Speaking of trying to get people on the podcast right after they finish races, our Ride with Pace series had 2 episodes go live on this Spotify podcast channel last week. One was Zach Colton, one with Braden Lang. And you may have noticed that you can watch these interviews now. So yes, you've been able to watch them on YouTube when we've done them all year previously, but now you can watch them on Spotify also. And we're going to keep that rolling. So if you're listening right now, you can flip over to Spotify and watch this interview with Maude also if you want. We're finally committing to this video podcast thing. You'll be able to watch them on Spotify the minute that they drop as audio podcasts. And shortly thereafter, you'll be able to watch them on YouTube as well. It's a little scary. It's a little daunting. It's a big bite, but this year in 2025, we're really trying to push ourselves with the podcast a little bit more and do a lot of the things that we've dreamt of over the last few years. So if you've always wanted to watch the podcast, that possibility is now there. All right, before diving into the episode, a couple quick thank yous. I'm recording this on Thursday, August 28th. Tomorrow, on the 29th, I'm headed to Los Angeles. About 50% of the reason is to see the new Map Lab. I'm going there for a training camp with Red Bull to get ready for Schwamigan and the remaining sea level races this year. But man, I am so excited for this new Map Lab in LA. They've already got group rides rolling. I think I'm going to drop by there this weekend and check out the new digs. But it's a beautiful location. It's at 910 Abbott Kinney Boulevard in Venice, California. If you're in the area on Friday or Saturday and want to jump in for one of their group rides, they've got a 42-kilometer hilly mountainous ride at 6 a.m. this Friday, and then an Equinox training ride at 7:30 a.m. on Saturday. That'll be a bit longer, I think 77K. But the Map Labs are just awesome. I'm so stoked that there's one in LA now. I'll be a regular starting this weekend, so maybe see you there. Also, I wanted to say a quick shout out to Osprey for supporting today's episode. I just visited Osprey HQ in Cortez last week, caught up with some of my friends there, and it was as inspiring as ever. I got to see a bunch of the new product that's coming out in the near future, and check out some of the history of the company, learn some new things that I wasn't as familiar with. And we decided right then and there, you know what? Let's keep this podcast partnership rolling. So they signed up all the way through 2026. So thank you, Osprey, so much for just really your unbelievable support of this podcast. If you're listening and you enjoy this show, one of the things you can do to show your appreciation is go to osprey.com and check out some of their awesome product on offer. Right now, they're running a very cool end of summer sale. If you go to osprey.com, the opening page is this big 40% off button. So it's a great time to check out some of the sales going on at osprey.com. All right. Catch you after the show. Okay, Maude.
Hi.
Sorry. I'm not as haggard as you are, but I did ride 5 hours in the heat today.
So in the dust?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You finished the Leadville 100 run.
Yes.
Like 36 hours ago?
Yeah. I think that's the math. Just before 6 a.m. on Sunday, and it's Monday.
So the run was barely shorter than the time between finishing and now.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I
Does
finished.
That make sense?
Like if I had started the time I finished, I would kind of still be running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy what you can do in 24 plus hours. Like how much there is in a day, really.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
If you just do one thing in 24 hours, it's a lot of one thing.
If you do one thing for over 24 hours, it feels like a really fucking long time. Yeah, it was wild. I mean, it feels really recent, but yeah, again, like I have a constant stream of stimulation and memories from like this 26-hour endeavor.
Really, still.
And so it feels like both really recent, but also like it was a long time ago because there's just a lot to go through in my head.
Yeah. This might seem like a really weird place to start, but from a personal standpoint, this is like where one of my greatest curiosities is. How did it feel to finish? Was it weird to stop moving?
Physically, it felt fantastic. Emotionally, it felt like I was in shock. I think I had thought about finishing and being done with it and wanted to be done so badly that when I finally crossed the finish, I was just, I was truly in shock. I had no emotions. It was just like, finally, and I had to kneel down on the ground and just like take a minute. I had been kind of struggling with some breathing. And I don't know if you guys feel this when you cry, your diaphragm gets really tight. Mm-hmm. And so I couldn't tell if my diaphragm was tight because I wanted to cry or if my diaphragm was tight and so it was forcing me to think I wanted to cry. But I had this like horrible mixed emotion of like, I'm trying to cry, but I can't breathe. And so I was like kind of hyperventilating and but I was like, I don't think I need to cry. I think I just can't breathe. And so I feel like I'm crying. And it was this very strange feeling. But yeah, no, the sensations of finishing were truly just a weird nothingness. Like it's done. But the other best part of finishing was that my parents were there and I got to hug them and they got to see me finish and they were just so proud and so happy. And my sister was there. And it meant a lot to have my family there and my crew and my pacers, everyone. It was really magical. Yeah. So.
Okay. So let's get into why the heck you ran 100 miles. You decided to jump into this lead challenge.
Yeah.
Can you outline what that means for folks?
Sure. So the Lead Challenge is 5 races. They all take place in Leadville. And I wish I knew the history, more of the history of it. But it consists of 3 running races and 2 mountain bike races.
Already seems like a ripoff. Just kidding.
Kind of is. Don't tell that. It's 5 races in it over the course of the summer. And it's the Leadville Marathon, which runs up to Mosquito Pass and then down again. The Silver Rush weekend. And Silver Rush, you can actually choose as an athlete, which is interesting. You can choose to race either the Silver Rush 50 mountain bike or the Silver Rush 50 run.
Oh.
And those are Saturday and Sunday. So the
Both
run is
50
Saturday.
milers?
Both 50 milers.
Seems like an easy choice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so that's in July. And then in August, it's the Pinnacle. So you ride the Leadville 100 mountain bike on Saturday, run the 10K run on Sunday, which starts at 9 a.m. for anybody interested in doing it next year. And so you don't miss the start like I almost did. And then the Leadville 100 run the following Saturday.
So gnarly.
Yeah.
So all of it happens in 2 months?
Yeah. I think the marathon was June 21st or 26th around then. And then you finished August, what is it? Yeah. 17th.
Yeah.
So about 2 months of just going up to Leadville. A lot of time in Leadville.
And I know, I don't know where I heard this, but I heard that you had a running background of some kind. And at one point someone threw around the word ultra, but I wasn't sure like how serious that was. I wasn't clear on whether you'd done some professional level ultra runs or it was like a bucket list thing at one point and you jumped into a 50K or something. Tell me about your ultra running background, because I have known you as a cyclist and that you maybe had like this little bit of a running history, but it seemed like the bike has been predominantly the focus the last handful of years. Yeah. And then when I heard you were doing the Lead Challenge, I was like, okay, she's definitely a runner. I think. Yeah. So explain that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think the Lead Challenge has historically attracted more of a runner than a cyclist. Yeah. Because there, I think, are plenty of runners who look at bikes and they're like, I could do that. But there aren't many cyclists who look at a 100-mile run and think, nope, let me give that a shot. I've been a runner, I mean, really since I was in high school, track and field, et cetera. But I really picked up trail running during a summer job where I worked in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And you worked as a crew. We lived in a lodge and you just run up and down trails basically to access the world. And so you spend a lot of time on your feet and also centered in the mountains and running around, seeing your friends at other huts and so forth. So I started trail running then. And that was around when I was 20. And so trail running has been a part of my life for a very, very long time. And I did race ultras, mostly really steep mountain runs, like the Speed Goats and those style of races in my early to mid 20s. I eventually did a race in Tennessee that allowed me to qualify, which is, a lot of people don't know this, you can qualify for the Barkley Marathons.
Really?
Yeah. If you win the 50K that Laz runs, if you win that, you get an entry into the Barkley Marathon. So pro tip in case anyone's interested.
Dang.
So I actually ran in the Barkley Marathons.
You did?
Yeah.
How have we never talked about this?
I don't talk about it very much, I guess.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those that don't know, the Barkley Marathons is probably the most insane endurance race there is.
Yeah, it's really silly.
It's just, I mean, you explained it.
It's chaos.
It's so weird and like, It's like something you'd read about in like a Lord of the Rings book or something. It's just like, wait, is this some sort of like challenge
It's a
to
quest.
become?
It's totally a quest.
Like, is this how you become like a wizard or something? Like, it's so weird.
It's so true. Yeah, no, the Barkley is a really odd race in Tennessee. It starts in Frozen Head State Park. You run 5 loops of this, not actually a trail or a course, and runners have to collect pages out of books. And there's all these wild and crazy rules and things that surround the Barkley, a lot of lore, a lot of oddities, and it's really fun. So there's a lot of stuff online about the Barkley, and
basically no one finishes.
Yeah, and year to year, basically when someone finishes it, he makes it harder the next year. So he'll add a new book to the course, and there's so much, we could do a whole podcast on that. But yeah, so I went one year, and I did successfully finished 1 loop, which is a real accomplishment. So there's that. And then I set out on the second loop, got lost, was kind of stranded in the woods, stuck on a cliff, didn't know where I was, had no direction because you can't take a GPS or a watch. You can only have a map and
navigation?
compass. Yeah, you're only allowed a map and a compass. And you only get the route and the location of the books, the lat and long of the books, the night before or the day before. And then not only that, but the books aren't just, on a table with a flag next to them. They're often buried or hidden in a tree or under a rock or stuck in a river, or et cetera. So anyhow, I got lost on the second loop and, fell behind the cutoffs, but had to still get myself out. So that was my longest. People ask me, how long have you run? So I say my longest hours of running was 27 hours, which was at the Barkley. Because even when I knew I was going to quit and couldn't finish the second loop, I still had to get back to camp. So even if you're done running, you still have to run for another like 4 or 5 hours to finish, to like end your adventure. Anyhow, so I did the Barkley.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to pause. We're going to talk about Leadville, but tell me about getting out of that situation. Like, how long did that take?
Oh my God, Payson, it's going to take more than an hour.
Okay.
It's a crazy story because we'll
do another podcast.
I was like sitting on this cliffside and I had been alone for the last, I don't know, I want to say like 5 hours running through the woods. And it was dark. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I could go downhill through this forest and I know I'll end up at a road because I had crossed it a few hours before. Or I can continue trying to find my way up through this very steep kind of valley that I was in. It's this like ridge line climbing up, and just climb out and just try to get up to the top of the ridge and then find my way back to like the quote unquote course. And so I was sitting there kind of, or I could lay down with my space blanket and sleep until the morning comes and, the sun comes out and I can orient myself. And I sat there for a bit, and something about the Tennessee woods is that there are wild boars that are really aggressive.
That's great.
Yeah. And so I was sitting there and I heard this huge crashing on the hill behind me, and I panicked and I thought it was a wild boar that was coming to eat me. And so I started screaming like, go away, yelling like madly, just trying to scare this thing. And my headlamp caught these like 2 beady eyes that looked at me, and then something like ran farther away. Looking back, it was probably a squirrel, but in my head at the moment, I thought it might be, something that was going to eat me. But as I was yelling, I got the attention of 2 other runners, and they were way up on the ridge that I knew was above me, and they heard me yelling and they were like, hello, is anybody down there? And I was like, yes, please wait, I'm lost, please wait. And so I'm yelling up to them, and something to know about the Barkleys, the people who do it, it seems like a lot of them don't like people. They don't care. They're not real people.
Yeah, I mean, checks out.
You're not supposed to run in groups. No one really wants to help you. It's very much like you come and you do it yourself.
Yeah. Sounds like bike pack racing culture a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, I don't mean it in a negative way either. It's just different than kind of the ultra community and like bike racing community that I think more people know of. It's just a very intense experience. Anyhow, so these people, I'm shouting at them and they're like, can you hurry up? We are getting cold, hurry up. Like they're yelling at me because I'm not moving fast enough. And I was like hand over fist crawling through this like dead tree fall, and like my feet were punching through, but I was like, I cannot be left alone. Like I cannot be left. I need these people. So I finally get to them and they didn't even say anything. They're just like, hurry up, let's go. Oh. And we just like started walking. We didn't speak to each other. And we started walking, and eventually, you know, one of the guys had done it before, and I was like, hey, I'm going to quit. I just want to stay with you so I can get to the Quitters Road. And
they call it Quitters Road.
They call it Quitters Road.
That's
yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, I just, you know, I'm not here to leech off of you to get a second loop. I'm not going to make it. I just want to get to Quitters Road. And so he was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll let you basically follow me while he navigated where to go. And I eventually made it back to camp. That was my Barkley.
Wow. Is that when you switched to bikes?
It is exactly when I switched to bikes. No kidding. So in that experience, I developed a really severe hip flexor tendonitis.
Okay.
And now we're getting really into it, but developed this severe injury in my hip, and the only thing I could do was ride bikes. So I bought myself a bike, and I started biking, and that was sort of the start in 2017. And then, so all that to be said that, like, ultra running is something that's definitely a part of me, and it's a lot of experience in it from years ago. And then I always saw bikes as kind of a hiatus from ultra running that I was going to like try out for a little bit, and then got totally sucked in and have been in it. But in the last kind of 2 years, really the last year for sure, but the last 2 years, I've missed it. I've missed a piece of myself. I've missed the newness of trying something different. You know, that was what drew me into bikes. It was different, and it was something exciting. And, you know, when you as an athlete, or not even as an athlete, but I think as people, when you try something new and you find yourself doing well at it and growing and learning and improving, and you feel that improvement, it's really addictive, right? And so, but the better you get, the harder it is to get those gains. Yeah. And I think it can feel difficult to keep trying the same thing and seeing less and less of that improvement. And so I think I wanted to bring running back, because I felt like I could almost return to it as a newbie, or I could return to it as something that I hadn't done in a long time, and feel that sensation of like going from not being as good at it to just getting better and better. And so, I wanted to just bring running back into my life and bring it back into my training. And there's a lot of other reasons for that, but I figured, what's the better way to bring it back than to sign up for a race?
Yeah. Well, and you did the Mid-South double last year.
Yep.
Did that was that a bit of a spark?
Totally. Yeah, definitely. I mean, absolutely. I think I guess the thing I have been thinking about is like, why did I do this? Like, why did I sign up for this? And I chewed on that a bit, and like, I signed up and opted into this thing because I don't really know who I am. I think I've always felt a bit, not torn, but I feel like I'm a cyclist, but I also know that running is a really core part of who I am as an athlete, like what I've learned and how I've grown and where I came from. And so I was not really sure, like, you know, where I belonged and who I am in these two places. And I think I signed up because I was curious. I wanted to figure out, you know, is this the two things, doing both of them pretty well? Is that me? You know, is that who I am? Is that, is that Maude? And I think, a lot of these choices I make are just driven by my insatiable curiosity to go and find out, and just see for myself, like, how hard is it really? You know, and am I capable of this? Is this who I am? Does this fit? You know, is this the right size kind of thing? And trying that on. And that is how I got into bikes. It's kind of where and how I started in running, and just an insatiable curiosity to find out. Yeah.
So when did you commit to this challenge? Because I didn't hear it directly from you. I don't think it just sort of like trickled out over time. When did you make the decision? to craft your season? Because that's before we started recording. Like you basically built your season around this challenge in a way.
Yep.
So when did that start?
Yeah, I wanted something. I think there was the other thing too is, right now in bikes, I think there's a lot of excitement, but there's also there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. And I think I also wanted to find something that cut through the noise from, a athlete perspective, but also just from like a interest in what I wanted to do and something different, something fresh, something totally out there. So I was contemplating this throughout last year, definitely after the Mid-South Double, and having won that in 2024 and feeling like, oh, cool. This is interesting and fun. And I think that I felt a lot of the excitement of my friends and my community around it. So that was definitely a piece of it. Is just the love and the excitement you get is, for me, it is a drug. It does feel really good. So I think that helped. And then just looking around and thinking, okay, the Mid-South Double is really sweet. It's a really cool event. What are some other similar things that I could do? I can run, I can ride, but I can also, meet, frankly, like a lot of the obligations I have to sponsors. I don't want to say they're just obligations. I want to be doing bikes and racing bikes, but making sure that I was living up to that while also doing these kind of like fun, different styles of races. So I knew about the lead challenge from years ago, and I was always thinking, oh, that's for other people. And then I was like, maybe I could do that.
Could be for me.
Could be for me. I don't know. And so, yeah, I think that was around November when I was like, that's kind of the ultimate thing. I guess I'll sign up for it. And then I think I paid my entry fee in December. And then it didn't really feel real until this past Friday. Really? And I was like, shit, I have to wake up at 2:30 in the morning and go try to run for 24 plus hours.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you make this work with your other goals? Because one of the things I'm really curious about is just the athletic crossover. It's actually becoming more common now, I think, for even like tour level riders to run a little bit for bone density, and also maybe just a little bit of life balance, athletic balance.
Yeah.
But I've often heard that, like, if you're really trying to optimize as a runner, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you're really trying to optimize as a runner, the added muscle mass you get as a cyclist isn't necessarily helpful for running. And so like they complement each other to an extent, but there's still definitely a balance there.
Oh yeah.
Not the least of which is like you've spent, I guess, since 2017 or 2018 trying to be the best cyclist you can be. And then all of a sudden you're having to maybe borrow from those resources a little bit to be a better runner.
Yeah.
And I mean, you had this amazing ride at Unbound this year, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm so curious how much running you were doing before that, say, and have you kind of adjusted what you think you can be as an athlete in terms of living these two worlds? Like, can you pull both off better than maybe you expected?
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good question. Yeah, you said something in there that, like, you know, since I started riding bikes, I've been trying to be the best cyclist I can be. And I think that is true. I get really excited and fixated on the thing in front of me. It's just kind of how I am. I love to dive in head first. And actually, I've had an amazing year this year. I'm so proud of my season. And 2024, ironically, was a season in which I actually was not working. I was laid off from my job. And I was really fortunate to have the ability and resources to not immediately jump into a new job. And I said, this is my chance to be a full-time athlete. And so in 2024, I just focused on training on my bike. And it was a good season, but it wasn't my best. I learned so much. I rode a lot. And I frankly didn't have better results than I had in the past. And it was feeling really frustrating. And there's a lot I learned from that. But to the point you had just said, you know, I've been trying to be this best cyclist. I think what I really learned is, like, I got too fixated on one thing, and that I'm my best self when I'm focused on being the best athlete I can be, and being the best me. And for me, that formula is joy. It's people. It's low pressure.
Yeah.
You know, it's diving into things that are new and difficult that I may be really bad at. Mm-hmm. But that because that's true, I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I succeed in those environments. And I think in 2024, I was trying to do it a specific way that other people do it.
Yeah.
And I walked away from that season. I don't feel like it was a waste, but I feel like I was like, oh, I can take this costume off and I'm just going to be me. I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And for me, running is super fun. Like, I have an amazing group of girls I run with in Durango that, you know, are incredible athletes who all win and podium 100-mile, 50-mile runs, you know, and they're just these like underground hitters. And I get to run with them weekly. Yeah. And they've become a really great group of friends for me. And I've gotten so good at running, being around them. So all this to be said that, like, yeah, maybe the hours I spend on the bike, I'm not perfecting my running form. And the hours I spend running, I'm not perfecting the intensity and the sprint that I need in bikes. But for me, having both of those things make me the best athlete I can be in both.
You need diversity.
I need it. I cannot do one thing the same every day. Like, I'm got the ADHD thing going on, you know, I need to mix it up. And so, yeah, for me, I think that's what a lot of people maybe get caught up in. It's like, what is the right thing to do? And what am I supposed to do? And how am I supposed to do it? And yeah, there's a lot of good advice. There's a lot of good science, but at the end of the day, it also has to just be about like what lights that fire inside of you.
100%. Yeah. No, it's such a good point. And I think there are probably a lot of people listening who could use that message, because we are so surrounded by such incredible role models who are so good at just being laser focused year in, year out, just living their sport, living their craft, and having, frankly, very little diversity in their lives. Yeah. But that isn't the only way. And whether, you know, it's you with this running or, I mean, I remember, you know, one of our mutual friends, like Howard Grotz, like his secret sauce was he's just this insane closet mountain athlete that you never hear about.
He is the ultimate uphill athlete. It's incredible. He can do anything.
He just, in the middle of a World Cup season, would just go do these absurd, like, peak bagging link ups that no one really knew about, but he needed that, and it helped him. Yeah. And honestly, even at what we think of as like the most optimized version of the sport at the world tour, like there's huge diversity there too, in terms of what those individual athletes need to be their best. Yeah. So I think it's a really good reminder, and in a way, like, you're maybe an extreme version of that. Yeah. But it's really cool that you figured that out. It's super, super cool.
Thank you.
One thing I'm really curious about that you just touched on is what it's like to kind of bounce between those two communities, because here in Durango, it's really funny. I know that we have a lot of high level runners. Yeah. It's crazy. We've had a couple on the podcast, but by and large, there isn't a ton of crossover, and it's sort of surprising. There's some crossover, like there's definitely some mutual friends, but in large part, there's maybe not quite as much like social crossover as you might expect. Yeah. But you're kind of like jumping between these two social circles. Obviously you did a lot of training with, you know, Sarah and Ellen and some of these other ladies before Leadville. Yeah. But tell me a little bit about your running crew and what they're like, what you guys talk about. You know, how is like a training session with them different than, say, when you did for Black Bear on the mountain bikes?
Oh man. I mean, they're the same in the sense that they're just good times. I think the other thing I've learned about myself as an athlete is I'm not a solo person. I really love people. I'm a I could be around people every hour of every day of every day of my life. I just love it. Such an extrovert. And so I really thrive training with people and with friends. I think the biggest difference between my running crew and my bike crew is my bike crew is like, yeah, let's roll at 11. And my running crew is like, can you guys meet at 6:15? And everyone's like, can you guys do 6?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're really, really dedicated to the early morning.
Interesting.
The early morning send. Yeah.
Huh.
Which is fantastic because honestly, it gets me out of bed. You know, because I will do anything to be with people and train with people. And so if they're like 6, I'm the text chat. There's definitely you have to be the one to propose the run and propose the time first.
Oh.
Because then you can lay claim to it.
Oh.
But if one of the earlier girls gets in there, you have to go. So I try and get in there and offer the 6:30, but I often miss it and the girls offer the 6. So then we go at 6.
Dang.
Yeah.
And what do you guys run? Like what are some of the routes you do? Okay.
Yeah, we do a ton in horse gulch.
Just because it's like kind of good leg speed type surface?
Yeah, it's like a perfect mix of runnable, uphill,
Yeah.
and down. And I think we just all know.
Yep.
And so it's usually about an hour 15 to an hour and a half. Run. We also do Animas Mountain a lot. So that one's really good. Yeah. Recently I've been away for 10 days, but some of the girls started going to Perrins. So yeah, I mean, it's really nice to just know that there's always that option. And have it. But yeah, in terms of what we chat about, I think it's the bikes. My bike community and bike world, as you know, are really career athletes. Like their job is their sport. And so we talk about the industry, we talk about training, we talk about races. I mean, we talk about everything. And the girls I run with are not career athletes. All of them have jobs. A lot of them are mothers. And we definitely still talk about sport. A lot of them race, like I said, endurance to mountain runs, etc. So we talk about the sport too, but it's also a lot of just life stuff and, you know, boyfriends, husbands, kids, like just the usual.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice community to be a part of.
Yeah. And how did you link up with the running community here? Because when you moved here, you already had a lot of pro mountain bike gravel friends that lived here.
Yep. Yeah. Actually a friend of mine from San Francisco, Lauren, her partner grew up here. And they moved back around the pandemic. Oh, nice. When I moved here, she was one of the first people I texted, because we had sort of lost touch over the last 3 or 4 years. But I knew she lived here. And so we reached out and she's become one of my really good friends. And she immediately invited me into the fold. And
cool.
She was actually pacing me on Leadville. So shout out to Lauren and Kelly, who both paced me for many, many, many hours, 11 hours. And then my sister paced me the last 12 miles with a fractured toe, actually.
What?
Yeah, my sister flew in from the East Coast, spent a few days with me in the week leading into Leadville, the run. And the night before she was supposed to come pace me, she dropped a table on her toe.
Oh my God. That sounds so painful.
And we have an official diagnosis that it was fractured. So she taped it to her other toe and ran in my mom's shoes, which were a little bigger. And she paced me from May Queen back into the finish line, which is 12 and a half miles.
Wow. So that's love right there.
It is love. That is love for sure. And I was screaming at her. I was so angry. I was being such a brat the last.
Why were you screaming at her?
Oh man. I mean, yeah, we could start at the end, but the race was it was a crazy, crazy experience. But, for the last, how many hours? I lost count of the hours. Didn't know what time of the day it was. At that point, you're just moving and every minute feels interminable, but then also the hours somehow just go by, right? So I felt like I was moving at a good clip. I was moving at like 15-minute mile pace, basically. That was essentially my average speed.
Sorry, I have no reference. I'm sure it's impressive.
Like 4 miles
but
an hour. It's not that impressive. It's really slow. I was laughing because, you know, people were taking videos and photos, and I was looking through the album and seeing some old stuff. And there's videos of me. And in my head, in that moment, I remember being there, and I remember that person taking a video, and I looked at the video, and in my head, I was moving really fast and looked really good. And in the video, I look like an old lady who can't walk properly.
I mean, it's all relative. Like,
all relative.
Just the fact that you made forward progress on foot more or less indefinitely for 100 miles is insane to me.
Yeah.
So 10-minute miles, 15-minute miles, I have no clue. The fact that you covered the distance is what blows my mind.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I was definitely at my wit's end of just feeling ready for it to be over. And so, I mean, so in the Ledge Challenge, I was racing. It was not a given that I was going to win this thing. I had a really solid lead going into the run. Natalie, who came in second, she and I were 15 seconds apart after the first two events.
Whew. Which were both runs?
Yeah. Well, no, it was the marathon and the Silver Rush. And I did the mountain bike, and she did the Silver Rush run.
How does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. If you choose to do the run, they multiply your running time by 0.54 or 0.56.
What?
They have this whole thing about how they've done it for years, and it always ends up working out. And it's actually incredibly accurate.
Huh. Do you feel like that's fair? Or would you rather it all be head to head?
I don't really have an opinion. I mean,
it's a very professional response, Maude.
I think someone said this, and I thought this was actually quite an interesting proposal, which is that at the Silver Rush weekend, you have to do both, but they pick your faster time.
Oh, God, that'd be brutal.
Yeah.
Ooh, 50 miles back to back.
Yeah, so then you would be running 50 miles and then racing the 50 mile. And it's the same course, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't even make it different.
Gnarly.
It is so gnarly.
And it's interesting that this whole thing is based off of time rather than points, which seems kind of more ruthless in a way.
Yeah, I think the point system would be weird because the different races draw different competitive fields. And so it's hard. I think it would be hard to create a point system that really that really felt fair. Yeah. And also the margin of difference is huge. So we were 15 seconds apart in the first two. Yep. By the mountain bike, I had a really good day on the bike.
At the Silver Rush?
No, at Leadville.
Okay.
At the Leadville 100.
Okay.
And I moved that 15-second margin to a 2 hour and 40-minute margin.
Wow.
But the run, she could finish anywhere from, let's say, 21 hours. I knew the women's record is 18. So I knew that she probably wasn't going to be on the podium. I mean, she could have. I don't want to say what she can and can't do. Yeah. So let's say she could run anywhere from 18 to 30 hours. Yeah, but you're
like, as a competitor, you have to sort of make an assessment of your...
Yeah, you kind of know, right?
Yep.
And like same, like the margin of possible finishing times is anywhere from 18 to 30 hours.
Okay, that's pretty broad.
So it's huge. So you're like 2 hours and 40 minutes could be gained or lost anywhere in this day, right? And I had never run 100 miles, so I didn't know what was feasible. But she was a big runner, and so she could have easily put 3 hours into me. So yeah, it was by no means done deal. Going into the race.
Was that making you nervous? Because running 100 miles make you a little nervous. Running 100 miles where you have someone, in the scheme of things, kind of breathing down your neck. Yeah. That seems tough mentally.
I mean, I think again, like I came into this season with I'm just really proud of who I am and like what I've learned in my career. And I think I did go into the run with the right balance of wanting to do my best, willing to put it all out there, willing to really try. And also it's okay. Yeah. Whatever happens, it's okay. You've done this thing. And I did have that. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was freaking out, but I wasn't freaking out about performance. Right. I was freaking out about the fear of just not knowing not if the low point would come, but when it would come and what it would feel like.
Okay.
And would I have the wherewithal to go through it?
Yep.
And that's really the cool thing about ultra running is like the nerves are different. Like, so the morning of Leadville 100, it's like you wake up, you can't eat, you know, the start is going to be miserably hard, miserably cold. It was smoky this year, right? You have those nerves of like,
avoiding
what if
crashes,
I crash?
Getting good
how do I get in a position? How do I make sure everyone's, you know, what am I going to do around my competitors? Who am I watching out for? Where am I going to be? Like, am I going to have it in my legs?
Or like, it almost feels more like hand-to-hand combat. Where
it is.
Yeah.
Totally.
Rather than you versus you or you versus the course, it's you versus the competitors. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's just, so that's a sense of nerves, you know, that you and I are so familiar with. And it's every race. Going into the run, like the nerves are just different. Because the last thing that's happening is you're going to, like, you don't crash.
Right.
You know, so I walked down and it was like 10 minutes before the start. And I kind of just walked up past people.
God, that's got to be so weird. That's got to be so strange because literally a week before you're like, can you check my tire pressure one more time? Where are my rollers?
Yeah,
like,
my shifting was messed up. So I was like, Dylan, my shifting sucked up. Can you please fix it? And he was
where's
like,
my bike card?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And it's just, you know, trying to get your clothes off to go to the bathroom and like all this stuff. And I lined up at the run because I was like, well, if I have to pee in 5 minutes, like all good, just go in the woods, you know, I'll find a tree and pee on the tree. And so in just running, it's so funny like that. You're just, but then you also know there's something's going to go wrong and something's bad is going to happen and it's going to be hard, but it's just a different flavor of nerves.
Yeah. It's really
pulsing through your veins. Yeah. Wow.
Interesting. I want to talk about the run in just a second, but I want to start with the ride.
Yeah.
When you were racing the 100 MTB, were you able to completely be in that race? Or was this greater lead challenge just sort of like background music at all times?
Yeah, it's such a good question. In all honesty, I was able to race it in the moment.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, my career is bikes and I wanted to have, regardless of it as a part of the series, I wanted to have a good Leadville. I wanted to come back after a few years when I had done it before and had a bad day and had a really bad summer. And I wanted to come back here and I wanted to do well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, my coach is incredible and he has constantly been gung-ho about every goal I've set out, even though they're crazy. And he's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll do that. And so he has trained me and prepared me, but he never wanted to compromise. We didn't want to compromise on being as good as I could be on the bike. I know earlier I said I need balance, but we did also work really hard at the bike, but I was able to succeed at the bike because I had this other piece that just let me feel whole and let me feel, you know,
man, I didn't
satisfied.
even think about the coaching component. So you have a coach for the bike.
I have one coach.
Do they have experience with coaching running at all?
No, not really, but he was so game.
How did that work? Well, were you just like, today I'm going to run? He's like, okay, I'll work around it.
No, so he works for CTS.
Okay.
And they are a great organization, and he just reached out to other CTS coaches, and they're one of their premier ultra running coaches, and was like, hey, I have this athlete, you know, I know how to train, I know how to coach people on bikes, but I need some advice of how to coach someone for running. And he sought out information, he sought out education, and he was able to build a plan. But I also brought a lot of my ultra running knowledge and background to him. So I was like, hey, these things feel bad, or this race didn't go the way I planned because this thing is my weakness. Let's make sure that we integrate X, Y, and Z into my training. Yeah. And so he was really adaptable and flexible in that regard. Yep. But during the Leadville mountain bike, like I wanted to have just a good Leadville. I didn't want to hold anything back. I didn't want to say, hey, I don't want to go hard because I need to save for next week. No. Yeah. I wanted to just be in the race and race Leadville mountain bike to race Leadville mountain bike. And there was definitely a moment where I was like, oh shit, I have to run a 10K tomorrow. I was like, nope.
I forgot about the 10K.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
It's so dumb.
I think about, so the people who do the 100 mountain bike and then jump into the 10K, like, fine, whatever. Like, that's kind of crazy, but good for you. I think about the poor employees.
That's so valid.
Like,
that's so true.
why is Lifetime like, you know what? Putting on the Leadville 100 mountain bike's not hard enough. Let's do another race tomorrow morning.
Yeah. You guys get your ass up after staying out here until like what, 6, 7 p.m. and like working all day in the sun. That is so true. No, that's, yeah. I mean, the 10K is small, to be fair.
How did it feel? What did your legs do?
Okay, to sound like an asshole, but I honestly felt fantastic.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's
annoying.
cool.
It's so annoying.
You know what's funny though is, did you ever do lead boat?
No, I never did it.
It's so weird how good you can feel the day after. It makes no sense.
It's so weird. I mean, that's how the Mid-South Double felt. I ran the 50K and then I was on the bike and I was like, where did these legs come from? Who am I? I feel like a superhero. I wasn't, and maybe I came in 20th. It's not like I won the race too, right? I didn't have the best legs ever, but I did not feel
you were in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I bodies, I tell you,
so strange.
They're so strange. It's cool. It's weird.
So how did you feel 1 week later?
I'm also going to sound like an asshole, but I honestly don't think like I had no fatigue.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah.
You just got it right.
I know that I have a really good recovery.
Okay.
I'm like, we talked about this with my coach a lot and he's like, your ability to come back quickly is pretty remarkable.
Cool.
And so I know that about myself, but I also think my training, like we never went over. We never did too much. You know, I think we did just enough. I think we could have done a little more, but it's sort of like the risk reward, right?
For sure.
Do you add that extra couple hours a week, but risk totally overdoing it and pushing yourself into an uncoverable fatigue? Or do you balance it and give, you know, for me as an athlete, he just gave me space to also like live my life and enjoy time with my husband and like, you know, go have dinner with friends. Like that for me just gives me a lot of energy. Yeah. So yeah, no, I spent the week. It's funny. I spent the week and I felt like crap between the weeks, but I think a lot of that it was a combo taper and rest week.
Yeah.
Which is just a double dirty on you because you're like, this sucks. You know, I'm running like 30 minutes. I went for like an hour ride. I think my body was actually in a state of confusion. Yeah. More so. But then, and so I was that definitely made me anxious. Like, oof, you know, how is this going to feel? What's going to happen? But come Saturday morning and once I was running, everyone's right. Like your body is like, oh yeah. I know what this is. So it really came around and, I was lucky. I didn't feel like I had a really good first half of the race basically. And then the second half is just a battle.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about it. So unlike Silver Rush, the courses for the 100 run and mountain bike are different.
Not exactly.
What?
They are quite similar.
Quite similar.
Yep.
Don't you do, is it Hope Pass?
Yes.
So describe the course. Yeah. Most people listening will be familiar with the Leadville course. We did a whole like recap episode, you know, Keevans, Sugarloaf, Pipeline, Powerline descent, Pipeline, out, Columbine, turn around, do it in reverse. Yeah. Where does the run diverge? So,
for the run, you run down the boulevard instead of the route that takes you to St. Keevans. Yep. Instead of St. Keevans, you run along the lake.
Oh, Turquoise Lake. Cool. Beautiful.
You cross over the paved road. Yep. And you run up a trail. And the trail puts you out on the road that takes you over Sugarloaf.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, Hagerman's Pass. Yeah. So you're on that. So you come out on that road kind of, I don't know, 1.5 miles below the left turn onto the Sugarloaf.
Okay. Yep.
Double track. So then you run the road to the mountain, to the summit, down Powerline.
So you go up and over Sugarloaf?
Yep.
Oh, wow. And you go down Powerline?
Yeah.
What?
It's so dumb.
That sounds slippery. I mean, slippery on a bike, but on...
It is way easier to run up and down Powerline than it is to ride it.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. Facts.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No, like I'll tell you about the end of it, but it was the whole time. It's actually so sad. I was running down. I was like, Maude, why didn't you go faster down this? This is not that difficult.
That's funny.
But, things are coming at you a lot slower when you're going 9:30
This
minute
already
miles.
is way more similar than I thought it was.
Yeah. It's actually the worst parts of the bike are on the run. So then you come in, we go to Outward Bound. You run on the road, past the fish hatchery.
Okay.
You go into Outward Bound, same aid station.
Okay.
You run out of Outward Bound through that
How sketchy is that to run? The Outward Bound, like, field of sorrow.
Well, yeah, I have strong ankles, so I was fine. But it is painful. Like, it just mentally painful because you see where you're going. And so I had on headphones. I just like tuned in and like set myself up for a good pace and just like try not to think too hard about how stupid that section is. So you run Outward Bound to Pipeline.
Okay.
Which is I think my least favorite part of the bike.
Yeah.
You end up at Pipeline. So there's an aid at Outward Bound, Pipeline. They're very close together. Pipeline, you run about another mile down the road. And when the bike continues down the road, there's actually a turn and you go right.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called. Some county road.
Yep.
And then you're on that for about 4 or 5 miles. And eventually it just sort of tapers into the CT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really cool. I mean, you can ride it legally.
Yeah.
And I understand with the bike, you can't really race over the CT because it's
permits
beautiful.
would be insane.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful trail.
Yeah.
So eventually we got onto the single track, which is gorgeous and super runnable. And you go up and over if you've ever been on Mount Elbert, there's like an access point. You go past that trailhead and then you drop down into the town of Twin Lakes. So you're not at the dam, you're at the town.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
And then from the town, you run across a field up and over Hope Pass.
How big is that pass?
It's big. It tops at 12.5.
Oh my God. So it's like Columbine.
Yeah, it's a 3,000 foot
smokes.
climb. And
Jeez.
4 miles, 3,000 feet.
What?
Yeah.
So half the distance of Columbine, but same vert.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah, it was fun. It was actually the best part of my race because you just get to hike.
Okay, yeah, just that power hike.
You're just power hiking.
Good for the cyclist quads.
Yeah, actually, like that's exactly right. I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to run. Running is so silly. So, you go up and over Hope Pass.
Up and over. That part's not an out and back. You keep going.
You go up Hope Pass, down the other side.
Whoa.
You drop down into this aid station called Winfield. You get something, you eat something.
And what mile marker is this?
That is
quick check-in.
49.7.
Okay, halfway. Yep.
And then you turn around and you go back up.
Whoa. Okay, so it is an out and back.
It is an out and back. Yeah. So the section, I guess, that is the same is really from Pipeline all the way to Hagerman.
Yep.
Like halfway down Hagerman, and then the Boulevard.
Right.
So then when you come back, you do exactly the same thing in opposite order. So you go up Powerline, down Sugarloaf, down this trail to this spot called May Queen, cross the road, go along the lake, and then you have to run back home up the Boulevard.
Yep.
Which
the way you just said that
was horrible. If you think it's bad, if you think it is bad riding it on a bike, I swear to you, it is so much worse running it. It is a asshole grade. It's like 2%. You're literally at the end. But again, I was moving so slow that even 3 miles takes almost an hour.
Oh man. Yeah.
An hour on this stupid
one of those endurance
road.
Time warps.
Oh,
those will get you.
It was horrible.
Okay. Let's get into the dark stuff for a second.
Yeah.
You said you had a good first half. Mm-hmm. Hope Pass was good.
Mm-hmm.
When did it start to get real?
Yeah. Yeah, it got real coming back up the other side of Hope Pass.
Is that also a 3,000 vert?
It's like 2,800. You drop almost all the way back down to like 9.5 or something.
So is the total vert more than the 100 mountain bike?
It's around 15,000, 15,500.
That's more.
It's more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Relentless.
Yeah. So I think that the low point was definitely coming back what I call like the backside of Hope Pass. So when you're coming the second time, it's really steep. and it's really loose and blown out. It's beautiful, but it was a really brutal climb. Everyone, I knew everyone in front of me was having a hard time because I had seen you pass everybody. So you see everyone you're running against. It's actually kind of crazy. And I knew I was having a bad time when I stopped being able to smile at people and stopped being able to say good job. I was like, oh no, this is it. Like, this is the wall. And so I hit the wall. And I think the reason is like, at that point I've been running for 11 hours. I was past halfway, but I still had like another 13 hours
to
hit my goal of running.
That's daunting.
That's exactly the right word. It was daunting. And you're moving so slowly that every mile is taking 25 to 30 minutes, if that. Like, I don't know, I probably did a 45-minute mile in there at one point because you're just hiking, right? So you're like, I've been running for 11 hours. I've done 50 something plus miles, but I'm not even close. What is this?
I'm halfway,
what is
but
this
I'm
wizardry.
I'm halfway, but I'm not halfway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this weird mental thing where you're like, this is math doesn't add up, you know? And then you're like, how am I expected to keep going? Mm-hmm. There's no way. And at that point I had seen Natalie and I was doing some math in my head. I was like, oh, she just put an hour and 20 minutes into me.
So she was ahead.
She was ahead.
Yeah. Hour 20.
By an hour and 20.
At halfway.
At halfway.
Oh, Maude. This was hard. Holy moly.
It was really hard. It was really hard.
Like we talked about before, there's like the heart of doing the thing, but then the heart of the competition too, especially when you can see where she is. That could, because when you have like something that's hard and then layered on top of that is something that can trigger some negativity or doubt.
Yes.
That's tough.
Yes. Yeah. Bikes are a mental game, no doubt. Because in bikes, your brain has to fire so quickly, right? You want to cover a move. You want to make sure you're taking care of things. Things are coming at you so quickly. So your brain's kind of on this like hyper speed. Mm-hmm. With running, it's just this like, you have to manage your demons in a very different way because you're enduring.
Yeah.
You are sitting inside of them.
Yeah.
And you cannot escape them.
Yeah. You have to sit with the doubt and you just have to sit with the hard more, it sounds like. I've done just enough running to sort of like be familiar with how there's no such thing as coasting, really. Obviously I've never done an ultra, but that's one of the things that really I think differentiates the two. And one thing that really, putting myself in your shoes, I was just so amazed at what you pulled off is like when you, like we're talking about with bikes, it's really intense and you're kind of making decisions and you can quit mentally, decide that I'm going to let this person go. Yeah. And the pain eases some. Like you can sort of switch it off a little bit. Yeah. You can make it easier on yourself. But
you can play the strategy, right? You can be like, all right, I'm going to take a break at the back. You know, I'm going to take care of myself a little. Maybe I won't push the pace, get ready for an attack, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
But from what I've heard, like that doesn't exist with these ultra runs. Like there is no, like you're holding your hand close to the coals and you're not allowed to pull it off unless you literally stop and pull out.
Yeah. 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 There was definitely just a lot of sensations of like, I don't know. And it wasn't that I was like being mean to myself. It was just the true feeling of, I really don't know if I can do this. Mm-hmm. And that is the low that you have to go through. It's like, that's where the demons start to say like, maybe you should just stop. Yeah. And the other one's like, you just need to get back to camp. And the other one's like, ooh, but that rock looks nice. And you're like, no, keep going.
So what were you telling yourself? Like why did the good voice win?
I mean,
I know that changes. There's so many hours. Like I'm
totally
sure the dialogue was like in so many different directions, but
yeah, very much. Yeah. What happened? The other thing that I'm really proud of myself and something I think I'm exceptionally good at, and it paid off in the mountain bike, to be honest, is I'm very good at taking care of myself. I'm really good at giving myself grace to take a break and just know that if what that little voice, this little one is saying, take a seat on that rock, sometimes you do just listen to it. And sometimes it's right.
Did you take a seat on a rock?
Yeah. There was a creek. And I could tell that my body was getting hot. It wasn't as hot as when some of the elites were going up the pass, but it was warm. It's 3, the sun's out, you know, you've been going for super long. I kind of had stopped eating. So I was starting to feel a little overworked.
Yep.
And I love a good splash in the water.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going 35 or 40-minute miles. If I sit on this rock for 2 minutes and I splash my face with water, I haven't lost that much.
Good investment.
But exactly, I've invested in this future self, and I can actually. So I did. I sat down and I, you know, put my hat in the water. I put some water on my face. I washed my hands, and I think. So yeah, it's not like there's one of the voices is good and bad. It's like it's just sometimes one of them is actually probably right.
Oh, interesting.
And I think it's just knowing which one to trust in the moment. And so I think for me, I think something I am really proud of is like I've learned how to figure out which one in the moment is the one to listen to.
Yep.
And so yeah, I took a beat and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit. You know, probably need to eat something, so I put some candy in my mouth. I couldn't swallow it, but I chewed it and I tried. And honestly, at that point, I was like, I just need to make it back to Twin Lakes, to the crew. And I think once I see my people, I know how this works. I love people. I love my crew. I want to make them proud. You know, they've given me so much. I get to pick up my pacer. I get to pick up Lauren. I'm going to get fresh energy. So I knew that there was light. Yeah. You know, and I tried not to overthink what's going to happen after 62 miles. Because at that point I had run 100K earlier this year. I ran Canyon's 100K. So I'd run 62 miles. I knew I could run back to Twin Lakes. And that was what I just told myself. I said, just walk, take your time getting up here. Even if you have to walk off the other side, you have to get back to your crew.
Had you somewhat let go of the idea of beating Natalie at that point?
It was starting to cross my mind that maybe it was that I was starting to let go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was starting to say hey, if that doesn't happen, that does not negate the meaning and the significance of finishing this thing. But it's possible that it goes away. Yep. I didn't like it, but I was definitely facing that truth. My crew did not like it. Apparently Steve was freaking out and having so much anxiety because I mean, he knows me, right? He knows that I do want to win and I am competitive and I do care. But again, you have to find a balance. If you care too much, I was going to put so much pressure on myself and I was going to beat myself and it was going to turn into a shit show. I needed to find the thing that would drive me forward. And if that was just the pride, frankly, but the goal of finishing, then that was what I needed to follow. Yep. So yeah, I got back to, and it was true. I got up to the top of the pass and sat at the pass with the burros because they use burros to bring the stuff up to Hope Pass, which is cool. So there's a little aid station there. And I had a cup of broth and I sipped on some broth and I sat for a minute.
Oh, I bet that hit the spot. Broth is good regardless of the situation, but everything you've just described, I bet that was the best broth of your life.
It was so good. I was like, oh, this feels so good in my stomach and my heart. It honestly did kind of bring me back. And I got up, started moving and hitched myself to this other young woman who I had been yo-yoing with. And we just started chatting and she was running and then I started running because she was running and then she was running because I was running. Nice. And we really helped each other down. And, we probably said a total of 10 sentences to one another. And I think of her as my best friend now.
Oh, yeah.
So, getting into Twin Lakes was, that was a big milestone. And there was still so much to go.
Yeah. But you sort of got a new lease on life, at least for the time being. Yeah. And I got in, I was actually at that point, I was 30 minutes ahead of my goal time. Oh, wow. What was your goal time? It's 25 hours, which is the big belt buckle. Okay. Yep. So my goal was 25 hours, never having run 100 before, which was very lofty. Okay. That's kind of stupid. What gives you any validation? Racers will be racers. Yeah, for real. But I thought that was a good goal because if I finished in 25, that means Natalie would have had to have finished in 25, 23, 22, 20, which is a stout time. Yep. So Natalie ended up finishing in 11th. So she would have had to finish in the top 10
to be
She did
25.
finish 11th overall.
She finished 11th overall, which is cool because I finished 11th in the mountain bike. So
wow.
very poetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyhow, so yeah, getting into Twin Lakes, got a pacer, brushed my teeth, got a new shirt. Like I got to take off my pack. Lauren was carrying all my stuff. So there was definitely
the pacer can carry stuff for you.
They can mule for you, which is not common. That's different in Leadville 100. A lot of 100s, that's not
interesting.
Really the case. But yeah, so it just felt like literally a weight was lifted and I was like, okay, I'm going to sit for a longer stretch than I had planned, but I had this buffer. And I, again, knew to take care of myself and knew that what I needed in that moment was just to fuel and be around some people and kind of just like reset, feel kind of like new socks,
feel human,
take my hat off, feel human, brush my teeth, sip some water, eat a bowl of ramen. Like it's cool because ultra running, those really matter. And it's very different than bikes where you're in an aid station for 5 seconds, snagging a bottle, and then you're gone.
Yeah. Literally the faster you can do it, the better.
Yeah.
And it's like a danger point, necessary evil, just got to get it done, do it cleanly. Yeah. And it sounds like with this, it's a lifeline. It's like almost part of the strategy.
Yeah, I think it is. And like, I think some ultra runners can optimize and cut down the time. But I actually one of my good friends ran Hard Rock this year and I went and watched her and I was observing her. She set the course record and won. But I observed her in Ure and I watched her at the 8 and she was sitting in the chair. She had just had a low point and she sat in the chair for 8 to 10 minutes.
Wow.
And she just calmly was sitting there and kind of savoring her time. And she was trying to eat and she had been having some stomach issues. And I remember watching that and thinking it's really important that if you're going to be stopped, you have to really stop and just let yourself be in that moment of rest. And so I was like, that's what I wanted to do. And when I was in the 8, I wanted to be fully chilled out.
Yeah.
Cause that's when your heart rate comes down,
reset.
Your stress levels kind of go down.
That's so interesting because when you're on a hard, traditionally speaking, when you're on a hard training ride on the bike, if you stop, you have, classic gas station stop and you sit down on the curb, it's kind of a dangerous moment in a way.
Yeah.
And there's definitely if you're with a group, there's always someone who's like, let's keep this moving.
Let's go. Yeah. And I mean, my legs, I don't necessarily, I think a lot of people would suggest, I was having TFL issues in my hip and one of the guys at the tent, I was at the CTS tent and he was like, yeah, actually sitting is not good for your hip. He's like, that's going to make it kind of seize and kind of stop working. And so I did take that advice seriously. But for me, honestly, I would just tell myself from aid station, I was like, in 4 miles, you get to sit down for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. I don't know. I don't really care. But it was kind of this reward that I got to give myself for it was if you keep going, you get to sit down, in a little bit. And so it was definitely a piece of the pull to keep moving forward. Yeah. So yeah, I think for me that worked. For others, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe your legs seize up and you don't like sitting. Steve doesn't like sitting during his ultras. Yeah. He just wants to stand. And I'm like, I like a good sit. I don't know. Just like a good sit.
Yeah. Clearly it worked for you.
Yeah.
So you described one pretty dark point.
Yeah.
But I think it got darker.
Yeah, there was, it kind of rolled. So it was dark, lightness, dark coffee. Oh, super good. Okay. And darkness. But yeah, the last bit was, it was like you said, it was a battle. It was just knowing that there were still so many hours, knowing it was 8 o'clock and I was aiming to finish by 5. It's
and it's straight through the night.
And it's all night.
Yeah, that night component.
And you know it's coming because it's an out and back. And I knew that I had to run from Pipeline fucking outward bound, which is BS. I was so angry.
Do you find that there are more demons in the dark? Is that harder mentally for you?
Well, no, I thought it would be way worse.
Interesting.
But you have pacers.
Okay, yeah.
And my pacers were freaking great. And they just were they're my chatty Cathy's and we just gab the whole time. And in some ways, darkness is kind of nice when you're moving that slow because you can't see.
Oh.
You can't see how long the road is in front of you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really counterintuitive.
Yeah. It's funny. I thought it was going to be way worse, and it actually wasn't as bad in the night as I thought it was going to be. I think it's just a matter of the fatigue. You know, your body is like, hey, I was going to go to bed. Do you think we could go to bed? And you're like, no. And they're like, but your legs are like, but we've been up since 2 a.m. And you're like, no, but you got to keep going. And they're like, no, but I want to go to bed. So that is definitely there, but it wasn't as severe as I thought. And it was actually kind of fun. Mm-hmm. The fatigue part and just like continuing to move was not fun, but the actual like element of the darkness. And one cool thing for those who have biked, that is a little different. So Pipeline, they turned into a rave.
No way.
Oh yeah. It was insane. You could hear it when you were a mile away.
Oh wow.
It was so loud. People had like made like a little tunnel. Yeah. They were screaming. The speakers were like true concert speakers. It was so sick. And I was like, what is going on? This isn't so wild. And I guess my sister had texted Lauren, who was pacing me at the moment, and was like, there's a rave happening at Powerline. I don't think Maude's going to want to leave. It was really cool. And then Outward Bound was fun. But then at the top of Powerline, they make this special thing called Space Camp. Oh. And they set up at the top of Powerline like a big camp, and they're playing like the Grateful Dead, and they've got like tables of candy, and it is just like a true party up there too.
Those
and so
are
it's
two
fun.
Pretty big parties in quick succession. Yeah,
Ultrarunning loves a party.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool just to like see the course, you know, and see it from kind of a different angle. And it really does help with the energy of the night. Like it does give you an energy boost for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, the night wasn't as, in terms of just like being in the darkness, wasn't as bad. It was, for me, it was the demons really sparked from just like the fatigue and the wear. And again, just like feeling like what is the sensation? It was like this time was continuing to move, but I almost felt like I was standing still.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would be like, okay, we've been going for like 20 minutes. This is great. I must have made so much progress. And then I'd look down and be like, I haven't even gone a mile.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, it's like those dreams where you're trying to run, but you can't move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was sort of where I was starting to lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't lose it. You won it.
I've been wondering where, I don't know why I kept going.
Really?
Like
did you actually think about pulling out?
No, I never thought about quitting.
Okay.
It was weird. I never thought about quitting, but I also it almost felt like my legs were possessed.
Yeah. Yes.
By something.
Yes. Okay. So I hate relating my own experiences to something
Please
like
do.
this, but you're the first person who's referenced that. And I've had that sensation with some of the super long stuff I've done where you feel like you turn into this perpetual motion machine.
Yes.
Like you get so used to saying yes when everything seems to be like trying to stop you.
Yeah.
And when you say yes enough times and the day has gotten long enough, you just, all of a sudden you just like keep going and turn into this perpetual motion machine. And that's why I brought up as one of the first things how it felt to finish, because it almost feels like wrong to finish in a way. Like, did you feel that at all?
It felt like it wasn't real.
Almost?
It felt awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, partly because you're just like moving towards the finish line so slowly. I mean, I can show you the video. I was literally like, you know, but no, I think that's actually a really good way to describe it. It felt awkward.
Yeah.
It felt awkward to kind of stop and just be like, done.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to do with myself either, right? For like 1,000 reasons. But yeah, it was like I was possessed. And I think it's funny because I think a lot of the dialogue around endurance is like your mind pushes through and overcomes your body's sensations of wanting to stop. I had the opposite. It was almost like my body was tired, but it didn't know what else to do except for to keep going. Mm-hmm. And my mind was like, can I swear?
Of course.
Fuck this. I hate this fucking race. I want to be done. I hate everyone. I hate you. Why are you guys lying to me about the time? Like, I'm angry at the world. I swore it. Some guy was like, how far to the next 8? And he was like 5.9 miles. I was like, fuck you. That's not true. I'm so sorry to that guy. He took it in stride. He was laughing, but
really, you said that?
I meant, yeah, because, it was a miscommunication because we thought we were at a different aid station, and then he thought we were asking for a different aid. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, I actually knew how far, and I shouldn't have asked him, but I was just like my mind, if you've ever raced with me, I get kind of aggressive and aggro, but my mind was so like fritzing and on the edge, but my body was just like in this, it was the perpetual motion machine. It's such a good way to describe it. Like it just kept moving. And then sometimes, so for the last 40, kind of basically when I had all my pacers, I would play a game where I'd be like, okay, let's run to the tree. Let's run to the marker. I'd pick a point and we would run. And it would usually be, anywhere from 15 to 45 seconds of running. And then I'd walk. And then we'd pick next thing, we'd walk for maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds, pick another spot. And so it was this kind of like back and forth. And at first I was like, there's no way I'm going to run. But then my body was just like, no, okay. It would choose the moment. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to like follow my legs. My legs are like, okay, we can run to there. And so it's kind of this interesting feeling that I think I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting it to feel that way.
I can't believe how eloquent you are right now. Like, honestly, so part of my strategy with this episode was let's get Maude ASAP because I want her as proximate to this crazy thing as possible. And I'm almost a little disappointed that you're not more like zoned. You're doing an awesome job describing all this.
That's so funny.
So how did it play out with the actual competition? Because in terms of if you were doing like a Strava comparison chart, it wasn't looking good halfway through.
It was not looking good.
So what changed?
No, my coach, it's funny what people hold back from telling you during a race. I don't know if you've ever been crewed on like a long thing. Or like when you have crew, I don't know how you prefer, if you prefer to know or you prefer to not know, but Steve has basically made the decision for me that when he crews me, he doesn't tell me.
Interesting.
Which is good. Cause again, I like to operate without pressure. So if I'm doing really well, I don't want to know because then I'm going to freak out and be like, oh, I'm going to fuck it up. And if I'm not doing well, I don't want to know because then I'm just gonna be like, morose and sad. And so for me, it's just like, I just want to be in the moment. And they were doing a good job giving me just enough information without giving me too much. But I knew that Natalie was a really good runner, and I knew that she was going to make up a lot of time with me. And I knew I was walking. I was walking a lot between Lakes and Pipeline, and so my crew was like, so I at one point, so when I left Pipeline, which is mile 80. Yeah. No, 76. Sorry, mile 76. So 26 more miles to go.
A mere marathon with
Powerline. No big deal.
A mere mountain marathon.
Yeah, exactly.
10,000 feet.
Like whatever, 1,000 feet of climbing. I had lost over 2 hours on Natalie.
Really? So it was like hanging in the balance.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
And my crew, and there was still a long ways to go, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, I think Steve said that it was essentially like she had been making up 30 minutes. She'd be making up an hour every 30 miles. Okay. So we had essentially 30 more miles to go. Yeah. And I had less than an hour of margin to give.
Yep. But you didn't know any of this.
I like vaguely knew. I could tell Steve's energy was like tense. He was like trying to get me out. And I was like, no, I'm going to just take my sit.
Need my ramen.
I'm gonna eat my fucking ramen and like enjoy myself for a minute. And but I was moving really uphill. They gave me a Starbucks espresso and cream.
Nice.
That thing hits. I tell you, that was so good. I was like, I'm a superhero. Why was I walking? I can run. So I ran from Pipeline to Outward Bound. We did definitely some more walking, but we were running much better. And then cruised up Powerline. I passed 6 or 7 people on Powerline. I also passed 6 people at the mountain bike. So it was kind of this fun full circle.
Always good for
I was morale. Like, I'm really good at Powerline, I guess. And so, I was climbing super well. I was having trouble going downhill. But when I came off of Powerline, I had definitely been like, you know what? If I don't win Lead Woman, it's fine. I just want to get done with this thing. And then Kelly, my pacer, who picked up after Lauren, was like, hey, you still have 28 minutes over her. Right? She's made about 22 hours, but like you have 20 hours. And based on what we're seeing, she is slowing down. so you can do this.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, I can do this.
Nice.
And so I knew I needed to climb super well. So I climbed to my utmost ability and like really, really pushed it, did a good job eating, taking care of myself. And then coming off the backside was having trouble running, but I also knew I was good at navigating technical terrain. At that point, Natalie had slowed down quite a bit. I got to May Queen, which is the last aid, 12.5 miles from the finish. And my team didn't tell me, but I think at that point, I think I had held about 20 to 28 minutes on her.
So it stayed the same.
So it stayed the same, which was great because it meant that we were moving the same and at that point, right? And so the last 12.5 miles is still going to take me. You have to understand, 12 miles doesn't take 2 hours. It's still like almost 4 fucking hours.
Oh my God.
Of running for 12 miles. Oh, it was so brutal. And so we got in and Steve, I really wanted to change my shoes and I really wanted to eat something. And Steve was like, we don't have time for this. And I was like, we have time. I need to change my shoes. So I changed my shoes. And honestly, it was a great choice because I was like, I can run. And I picked up my sister. And that was when my competitive side turned on. And I was like, I'm fucking winning this. Like
No way.
I cannot walk out of this without winning it. Like I've come this far, and it did spark. And it was like, again, it just felt like this moment of, I trusted my voice to be like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Until it was time to worry about it. And it was a really, really tough battle. I cursed at my sister and yelled at her and was so mean to her in the last 12 miles. And she was so loving and patient and so kind. And my team wasn't telling me. I was like, what's the lead? And they were trying to do math at fucking 4 a.m. And I was like, okay, but so then if she finishes at this time and I have this much of a lead on her, and then what time do I need to finish by and what pace do I need to be going in order to finish by that time? And how fast? And my sister is so lovely. I was like, at one point I yelled at them. I was like, you guys are lying to me. Stop lying to me. And she was like, Maude, we have been awake for almost 24 hours and I can't do math. And I was like, what time do I have until to be able to finish this thing? And so my sister is running behind me, refreshing the tracker to see when Natalie is going to finish and checking her time. And so finally we got her finishing time. And so at that point, it's hard to explain the math, but basically I would have 2.5 hours to go, I think 6 miles, which sounds like a lot, but when you're going that slow and everything feels like it's taking forever, it's scary. And the fucking boulevard, man, never. Oh God, so horrible. And I didn't remember from bikes how many miles it was. And I was like, is my watch right? Well, whatever. Anyway, ultimately I finished and I crossed the line. And so I had 28 minutes on her. And I ended up finishing with a margin of 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you finished really strong.
Yeah, I finished relatively.
Relatively speaking. You died slightly better.
Yeah, I withered more slowly. Yeah. My rate of withering slowed down. Yeah, and anyway, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I mean, to be honest though, 40 minutes after all of that, after all of those races.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, in those formats.
Yep.
It's not that much.
It's really not.
Battle.
I mean, the total time is 40 plus hours.
Yeah.
So the margin being 40 minutes.
What a battle.
It was, yeah. She put up a really strong fight. And the third place woman was having a really strong run. I passed her on the boulevard.
Yeah. So wait, did you finish second overall in the run?
No, I was in second overall after the bike because I had such a good bike. Again, a lot of the people who enter Legend are more runners. So it was fun to kind of show up as a cyclist and smash the bike.
Yeah.
And have a really amazing performance there. And then, just hold on for survival in the run. I finished fifth overall.
Fifth overall. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
So you seem awfully peppy. Seems like you're recovering well. How long do you get to absorb all this before you are shifting your focus to something else?
As long as I want.
Good.
Definitely a week. My parents are visiting, so we're just gonna meander with them and show them Durango. And yeah, there's definitely some niggling things. I just want to make sure like my feet are good and healthy, and my knees have just been kind of like stiff. So I want to make sure my tendons are healthy and eat enough. And I'd lost probably 7 or 8 pounds just like from not drinking and eating enough. So I need to like eat and like get myself back in working order. So yeah, I definitely like, I'm just going to take some time off, but again, like I trust that when I feel ready, I'll be ready and I'll listen to that and we'll go.
Good. Do you have anything on the schedule?
I do. All good.
Do we have dead batteries?
All 3 died.
That's fine.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, we got an hour and 20 of good stuff.
Oh yes,
We're
more
good.
than an hour. I told you I talk a lot.
You're good at podcasting.
Little and
that
Big
means.
Sugar are definitely like up there, but I actually didn't even register for them yet. So I just really wanted to have a completely open calendar in case anything happened, or just didn't want to put too much expectation on it all. So yeah, we're gonna take a little bit and see. I might spin on my bike. I don't know. It might feel nice. I feel good. Might feel a lot easier.
Yeah.
Definitely be a week, if probably more, for running.
Could you foresee yourself doing another 100 at some point? You probably need at least another week, huh?
At least another week? Oh my God. You have no idea out there. I was like, I'm retiring from doing hard things. Like this is fucking done. Like I'm so over
what's
this.
funny? Like
I'm never doing this again.
I can't. Yeah. It's just part of the experience. I convince myself every year that at Leadville, at Unbound or whatever, this is the year where it's going to feel a little easier, going to enjoy more of it, going to feel more passionate about doing it again right after I've finished one of them. It just doesn't happen. Like in the moment, you're just like, how is this what I do?
Yeah. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Who signed me up for this?
Yeah.
Where are these 2 personalities coming from? Because they don't seem like they're the same. They don't seem like they're in alignment. And yet. And then I was like, I'm never doing this again. Truly, like totally committed, no doubt in my mind, 100% confident, completely and utterly done with sport and just like hard efforts. And then today I was sitting there
already,
and I was thinking
36 hours,
and
24
I was
hours
like,
later.
Well,
Hard Rock's right over the hill.
It's kind of interesting to think about whether or not you could eat more and go faster. Or like maybe you could run a little more and see what happens. And then your brain starts doing, it's so messed up.
Someone needs to, I'm sure this exists, but I would love to see some actual scientific papers on what the hell type 2 fun is when it comes to being human. Like, why are we like this?
Why are we like this?
It's so weird, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it comes back to what I said at the very beginning. It's just like insatiable curiosity for me. Like just, I have to find out. I've got to put my hand on the flame. Someone's like, don't touch that. It's hot. And you're like, are you sure?
How hot?
Yeah. I'm that person. Yeah. So bad.
Congratulations, Ma. That's a heck of a mission you just pulled off.
Thank you. Yeah. And I just like had the best people around me and supporting me both at the bike and on the run. And I say this all the time, but it's just like so important to remind people that nothing that you accomplish is done alone.
Yeah,
and there's
so true.
1,000 people and moments of, just help and love that got me through it. And I'm just so deeply thankful that I have that support system around me.
Nice. Well said.
Yeah.
Soak it in.
Thank
Rest
you.
up.
I will. I will. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So fun.
Bye. Hello again, everyone. I hope you enjoyed listening to that conversation with Maude today. We'll be back next week with another episode, of course, but a couple quick thank yous. First and foremost, a big thank you to Lily Hardman for editing each and every one of these episodes since 2019. Thanks to Nicole Baker, who helps produce these episodes. The With Pace podcast is produced by With Pace Media, which at this point is a 3-person effort, but it's going to be expanding soon. I can't say too much more right now, but I am so excited for what we have cooking the rest of the year. I love this project and we're doubling down, tripling down, expanding increasing our effort, whatever you want to call it. And so with Pace Media, we'll be growing even more. More on that later. But if you'd like to watch this conversation, you can, of course, do that on Spotify or YouTube. You can also go check out our Ride with Pace YouTube series, which is sort of a long form mini film series. We're trying to do something different there than is kind of being done in terms of the race coverage these days by other folks who are doing awesome stuff on YouTube. But we brought Thomas Woodson in this year, who is someone that I've worked with for quite a while on our crossing films, just has an incredible filmmaking eye, and creates a really fun, immersive experience if you want to kind of go behind the curtain with some of these Grand Prix races. So be sure to check out the YouTube channel as well, which is just under my name. As always, you can go to the With Pace Instagram to check out some clips. Lily's been cranking away over there. There's something fun on the IG page almost every day these days. So don't forget to check that out. And last thing, I know it's corny. Everyone says it, but it's because it's true. If you enjoy the show, it does help us if you hit subscribe, if you give us a rating, if you leave a comment even, which is now an option, or just tell your friends. It actually does go a very long way. The other thing you can do is go to osprey.com and check out their 40% off end of summer sale right now. All kinds of amazing stuff on sale. Like I said at the top, I visited Osprey's HQ in Cortez, Colorado, which is just about a 45-minute drive away from Durango. And it was inspiring as ever. It's just always so good to catch up with folks who I get to work with and who support this podcast and support me. And kind of like we're doing with the podcast, with our efforts in terms of storytelling here, they're doubling down also and have signed up to support this podcast through until next year, which is just incredible. So if you enjoy the show, one of the things you can do is go to osprey.com and check out some of their great product. And lastly, I'm headed to LA tomorrow, and I cannot wait to visit the new Map Lab Los Angeles. It's at 910 Abbot Kinney Boulevard in Venice, California. And it's open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Sunday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's the home of good brews, obviously the best cycling kit in the world, and group rides are rolling out of there on Friday. They've got a group ride this Friday at 6 a.m. And then Saturday they've got one at 7:30. And it's just a beautiful looking space. I'm looking at their a photo they posted a couple of days ago of the storefront, and it just looks so good. Very worthy of the brand, and I cannot wait to go check it out in a few days. Thank you, Map, for also supporting this episode. All right, that's all we got this week. Thank you all so much for listening, as always, and we will catch you next week.